Good morning, everybody. Troy from the Do-It-Yourself world and the wet Homestead. Spring is in the air. It's melting, finally. I already got the Van Powers generator out in the sun, charging up, and I've got some awesome experiments. Really exciting. I'm excited, and I'm sure you will be too when you see what I have planned for this. And the big boys are doing their job. I'm going to have to remove that pole, put the shadow up there. The big boys are pumping some power. Boy, that wind is brutal out here. We got all of our firewood stacked up, and it was a full 2 face cord of pine that we got the other day. What a blessing. Because it was 50% of it was dry. This rack was wet. This rack was dry. I had this heaped up higher all the way across here. We've been burning some. And then we've got, that wind wreaked havoc on here a little bit. We've got a little bit of some over here and some oak that's out to dry. So we have left 2.5 face cord of wood for us on the homestead. We burnt everything we've hauled in recently. I know people are worried about us getting firewood, but oh boy, you have no idea how much. I have properties lined up that is just sitting there for the taking. So I'm not at all worried, and we still have wood laying around here. As it melts, we're digging it out, and a lot of this is drier. The melting snow and water is not helping at all, but it doesn't take too long to clear that, to dry that off again once we get it off the ground. There's a little bit here in my hole over here we've been digging at. Should be able to get more out today because it's going to be 50 degrees today. We had snow yesterday again, but today it's going away. I'll be able to get to this poplar again soon. That was buried deep. Hey guys, I got a package in the mail from ThruNite. Not to block the camera. Let's get that out of here. What do we got? Oh, ThruNite TT20 tactical something or other defense. Ooh, this sounds exciting. I like tactical. Please screw down the light head and tail cap tightly before use. Instead of putting something insert inside, they tell you to screw it down to keep it loose in transportation. So, we've got a light. Let me see. We've got a clip here. That comes off. And put that aside for now. We've got a TT20 here. And we got some little bit of defensive edging on there. And we've got a tail switch, and we've got a side switch, and we've got an instruction book. There's a typical ThruNite charging cable, and a sheath. They all come with a sheath. This also has typical ThruNite. It's got your belt clip and a carabiner clamp for your backpack or gear. And all the accessories. They always give you all these accessories. There's a lanyard, and they've got spare, normally, let me see if that's all in there. Okay, there's 2 gaskets, round gaskets, stuck on the lanyard there. And that's for in here. And then you've got your tail cap switch cover, and you've got spare USB charging port covers. And there's the other gasket. So typical ThruNite has all the accessories you could ever need for long life. Very good to have. So this has a lockout mode, which I love. Under lockout mode, if I understand right, you hold and the switch And then you get into Firefly. And now this flashlight's on as normal. And under Firefly mode, you can hold the switch to go into lockout. So long press to get into Firefly, alright, and long press again, and it's under lockout. Now the switch doesn't work anymore. And to get it back on again, you long press, and there's your Firefly. Now it works normal again. That's cool. Oh, you can double lock. Let me long press, let me get that into Firefly. And then long press, now it's into lockout. And then press the tail cap and it double locks. And now you're going to have a very, very, very faint red indicator right there to show you that it's in double lockout mode. That is good. Now it can't be turned on. You can bounce around in your glove box, in your purse, backpack, wherever. It can't be turned on now. To get it out of double lockout, as long as you see that red indicator there, very faint so it's not going to burn up the battery, then you single click the tail switch again, and that indicator will go off. Now it's out of double lockout, and then long hold, and you'll see Firefly again, and the light's back on. I like that. That is really good and convenient, especially for a tactical flashlight. Now, this light has a bunch of modes here. We've got Firefly, which you've just seen, and that is 0.54 lumens and lasts for an insane 64 days. You can turn this on, leave it on for 64 days and nights. That is absolutely insane. I love these for hiking, backpacking, tenting, or power outage scenarios. Just to turn that on, you can see and get around in the dark with that. It really is enough to see. And I've gone through the forest in the woods with them, and you can read a book by that in Firefly. I really love the Firefly. Now there's this is unique a little bit in that when you have the power on, you can long press the button and it will cycle. There it goes brighter and brighter and brighter, and it double blinks. That's the highest, infinitely high, which, oh, I can't even see it, so bright. 1,468 lumens. And then you long press again, and it'll go down, 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 down. It'll double blink. It'll let you know it's to the lowest. That's infinitely low. And that is infinity low, they call it. And that's 31 lumens, which is still pretty good. Really decent. And then you can long press again and get it to a level you like. Shut it off, turn it on. It always comes back on in the last mode you left it, which I love very much. Now this also has turbo, so from any mode, double click, and you've got crazy bright 2,526 lumens. 2,500 lumens from this little thing. Of course, from turbo, you can triple click, and you got your strobe, which will blind an animal, believe me, I know. And it can actually mess up people coming at you, believe me, I know. I like to practice this stuff and experiment with it. There is, when it's on, there is a capacity indicator varying from blue through violet to red. Blue means charged, violet means it's getting there, getting discharged, and red means time to charge it now. This thing will cast a beam up to 258 meters. That's like 250, 260 yards. This little light, that's impressive. Typical ThruNite, this is waterproof to 2 meters and impact resistance to 1.5 meters, which we will find out and test. We're going to put it through the works here and get back to you on that. I should also mention it is USB chargeable. Of course, the cable should give you a clue. Meanwhile, I'm going to put this through the works on a separate video and a final review, so watch for that. And I'm going to put the links down below for you to go ahead and get one yourself. I can tell you one thing with my experience with ThruNite. If it's a ThruNite and you're looking for a flashlight, get one. It'll be good. What a beautiful day it has turned out to be. I've been working all day. The snow is melting. I think you'll notice the difference. We got a lot of ground cleared up. I'll be able to knock some of these out and get them up, hopefully. And the The observant of you will notice something ginormously different here in the property, but we'll get to that in a minute. Look at that, a lot of melt today. So I can start cleaning up here. Some of these I can get out. Pretty soon I'll be sawing. Anybody notice what's different? I don't know if you can see the camera, I can't. So much snow back here yet. Terrible. 12, 16 inches, 12, 14, 16 inches back here. So, look at that. Melanie and I have been working on the carport. It took a bad hit. It's been smashed up pretty good by the weather. I took a fence post and wired it in. Now the reason I didn't have the camera, this was video work is work, and you cannot be dealing with a camera when the wind is ripping and tearing and fighting you. So I took a fence post and tied it in there, a round fence post. It's actually a reinforced type metal, so it should be better. And that was really bad. Here it's bent, here it's bent, here it's bent, here it's bent. But anyway, I had to use some wire to pull some baling wire to pull each section together, because it was hard. Trying to deal with the wind flapping that around. What holds this together is the tarp, but when the tarp's off, it doesn't hold itself together. So anyway, I've been out here cleaning up and working, and I was thinking, boy, it would be nice to have the sawmill going and put boards. Oh, there's 2 more bends up in the pipe up along in there. It's terrible. I'd like to make a solid beam up in here and get that up in the air, and then have a center support when I'm not using it, which would help tremendously, and knock it out when I gotta load logs. That'd be very helpful. And there's another bend, almost every joint. So anyway, I started fiddling with the sawmill, and I got it going. Let me take you over. So all winter I've had this draining. I've had everything open, I've had it draining, and every once in a while I check, and I couldn't pull the starter rope. It was impossible. The motor was seized up inside from that goop. Just was glued together inside. I still don't know exactly. I'm thinking molasses, but I'm not exactly sure what it was yet. But I came out and I gave it a bit of a pull, and it pulled tight, but not like it was, before I couldn't pull it at all. So I worked it a little bit. Again, everything was empty. No oil, no lubrications. And I worked a bit, and I started working it free a little. So I filled it with oil, and I worked it some more, and worked it, and got that oil going up through all the system, and I worked it, and finally it started loosening up. I think that the warming and cooling months that we've had here has caused all the sludge to free up and work itself out and drain out. You can tell that's still been draining and drooling. That's still wet and gooey. So I think that over these months it has started to clean up and work itself free. And then when I got oil in there and I started working it, I got it running. It sounds like there might be a bit of a rod knock. When I first started it, it went away. That's probably not good long term. This probably isn't a good solution. But I found a motor on the internet that when this starts to blow, I'll replace it. I just hope it doesn't blow through the side when I'm working on it. I really hope that never happens. But it'll run. So that's a good thing. I can get my mill going again. I got a 2x4 in there, take some of the stress off for now. That looks better. I'm going to have to find something that I can use there that'll help shore that up when I'm not using it. It'll still keep the weather off. It has kept the weather off, even in its dilapidated condition. Everything stayed dry down here.